Alright guys, so today I'm doing the gearbox and transfer box oil. Obviously you would have seen on the Instagram before we started the YouTube that I've already done the diff oils. When I bought it, the engine oil and all that was all done, but because we're going away on Thursday, so a couple of days, I wanted to get them done. It's got a bit of a whine coming, so I don't know if I just want to check the oil in those, make sure it's got some, and put some fresh in it. So I'm just doing it, giving this little update in here while it's nice and toasty. So I'm going to get on with that. I've just been out for a drive, so the oil should be warm, so it comes out a lot easier. We've bought some, they're just out there, some Coma 7590 GL4, that's for the gearbox, and we've got some LiquiMoly SAE 7590, and that's equivalent to GL5, I believe. Yeah, it's, oh no, sorry, yeah, GL5 that one is. So that's for the transfer box. So like I say, the oil's already warm, so I'm going to get into there and get on with it. Obviously drain, I'll do one at a time. I'll probably do the transfer box first because that's a bit easier. Take the under tray bit off, drain that, put the plug back in once it's drained, fill that up, and then I'll do the gearbox one after that. So I'll bring you along, show you where the plugs are, and we'll have a look what the oil's like and how much is in there. Hopefully it's got a good amount in there, but I'm hoping this fresh oil and top up will be a bit better and hopefully quiet it down a bit, because I think that's what the whiny noise is when we're driving along. So if not, I'll have to have a look at other stuff as well, but I think I might grease the prop shafts and stuff while I'm under there as well. So yeah, I'll get outside and get underneath and start getting the oil out, and I'll bring you along. Right, so we're underneath the Defender. Obviously the first thing you got to do is take the, well, if you have them on still, you got these plastic under trays on. Normally they're just bolted on with some M10 bolts, I think they are, but mine has seen better days on the last off-roading day and sort of smashed it, or we smashed it should I say. I got it beached and then Davey got it beached a bit harder and broke it, so it's just held on with zip ties most of it and a couple of bolts now. Obviously the one in the middle just here, I'll show you, that's hanging there, that's just zip tied up normally, and so is this at the other end. So we're just going to just got to take that off, and obviously that'll expose your plugs to do the transfer box and the gearbox oil, just to make life a bit easier. So I'll get on with that now, and then I'll just say, because I was unsure when I first got the Defender and had a look underneath on the bottom of the bell housing just here, just there. Obviously it looks like there's a plug missing, and that's for your wading plug. So normally they're left undone with nothing in them, so you can have any oil or anything can come out and it won't go on your clutch or anything, and it's allowed to drain out. But if you're going to go wading in it, and you get a plug put in there to stop all the water going inside. Just a little bit of advice, because I wasn't sure, like I said at first, and thought, oh flipping heck, something's missing a plug, but it's not. It's for if you go wading, then you have to put a plug in. If not, you just leave it exposed to stop any excess oil or anything going onto your clutch. It'll just trickle out of there onto the floor instead. Yeah, so I'll get these guards off properly, and then I can start looking at undoing the plugs to drain the oil out. Right, so I've got the tray off. There was a bit of a pain in the backside. Obviously they've got riv nuts in them. Driver's side I could undo, passenger side snapped off. Just couldn't undo the bolts. It's riv nutted. The riv nuts are spinning in the hole, so I couldn't get it off. But I think what I'm going to do eventually anyway is put a metal plate across the bottom between the two bits of chassis, just to like only thin bit, 3mm bit of plate or something, so it'll just protect everything underneath and stop all the dirt and stuff going all over everywhere. But for now we'll just zip tie it back on like it was. So transfer box just here. That is the bottom drain plug, and then just to the front up there, just sticking out, you can see, is the where you fill it up, the top plug. So I'm going to take that one out first, and then I'll get my little pot underneath there and get the bottom one out and drain that out, and then we'll see how it is and see how much is in there. Right, so I've removed the top filler plug and just stuck my finger in there to see if there's any oil in it, and it just seemed to be pretty full. So I'm just going to take the bottom plug off now, and then we can drain it out. It's quite dirty, that, so it's definitely due a change. There's a little bit of obviously the plug is magnetic on the ends. There's a bit of swarf on the edge of them, but nothing I wouldn't say is a problem. There's no massive chunks of metal or anything, it's quite fine dust. Once I get out from underneath here I'll give you a close-up look at it, but I'd say that's okay. It doesn't look like it's been changed for quite a while, so there's a fair bit of dust on there, but there's, like I said, no major big bits of swarf on there, so hopefully it should be okay. And once it's finished draining out, I'll put the bung back in, the plug, we'll clean the hole up, put the plug in, then we can fill it up with some fresh oil. Alright, so that's the oil. It's pretty dirty, to be honest, and it's pretty smelly. It definitely needed changing, so that's that. And then I've got the bottom plug just there. As you can see, it's going to focus, I think. I don't know if you can see that. definitely got some swarf on there, but it's all pretty soft, pasty stuff, so nothing too major. Just wipe it off on there. Yeah, there's no major bits of metal in there, it's just, like I say, pasty, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll clean that up, put it back in and fill it up with the fresh oil. So this is what putting in the transfer box. Thought I'd just show you. It's a GL5 SA 7590, and for the gearbox using the Coma from Halford's 7590. That's the GL4, that one, for the gearbox. Obviously I've done research and there's pretty much mixed reviews on everything I've seen of what people use for what. It seems to be sort of personal preference really, so this is what I'm going to use, and hopefully it will quieten down the drivetrain a bit as well. So like I say, GL5 for the transfer box and the GL4 for the gearbox. Right, I've obviously cleaned the plug up for the bottom. I'll clean the top one up as well, and I'm just going to put some PTFE on the plug around the threads. Not a lot, just go around it twice, just so it's an extra little bit of seal. I think someone who'd done it before had put some on. I'll do that on both, just so it's a little extra bit of sealing up the threads, so hopefully it doesn't weep through. That's what I say. It's just general from any plumber store or whatever. PTFE tape. Right, so I just got this one, the bottom sump plug in. I'm just filling it up. I thought I'd just show you. Obviously on these oil bottles they have the little nozzle on these ones, so on the transfer box you could just poke that in the hole like that, and there's enough room at the back here just to get it in and just squirt it straight in. So I think it takes 2.2-ish litres. So I'll put them in and then basically just fill it up till it just starts weeping out the top of the, or the bottom of the sump plug. Right, so we just started doing the gearbox this time now. Just up on the driver's side. Hang on, just get you up there. Obviously got the lower plug just there, and then the one just up to the right. I've scraped all the dirt off from around the edges and in the holes. So same again, I'm gonna remove the top one. I'll have a little feel, see how, if there's any, how full it is, and then I'll undo the bottom one, drain it out, check the plug, check how the oil is, and then top it up with new stuff as well. And then hopefully we can go out for a test drive and see if it's any quieter. Right, so I've got the top one undone. It's a T35 Torx, the top one, and oil's come straight out, so that's definitely full up, which is good. So I'll just drop the bottom plug out in a minute and drain that out fully, and then put some new in it. It doesn't look too bad, to be fair, at the minute, but I'll see when we get it right out what it looks like. Right, this is the gearbox oil out. Doesn't smell quite as bad as the transfer box, but it's quite dirty, which is expected. And the same again, it's just metal paste basically on there. There's a little bit of something there, nothing major. So I'll just clean all that up again, put the fresh oil in and give it a go. Right, so when you're topping your gearbox back up, because it's quite so tight up next to your front prop, you can't get the bottle up in there to fill it up. So I just bought this big syringe off Amazon, next day delivery, and then it's got the little pipe so you can fit it up into there, and then I'll just have to do that a few times and just fill it up with the 2.2 litres, I think it is on this one. This was 2.4, it's supposed to be on the transfer box. But anyway, I'll fill it up so you can see how it comes out the top filler just, and then I'll put the plug in. But this just makes life easier than trying to get the bottle up in between there, because it's very tight and you can't really get it in there very well. So hopefully this will make life a bit easier. Right, so that's the gearbox oil topped up, cleaned everything up underneath, put the plug and that back in. I've just got to go and test it now, and then I can put the under tray bits back on. It was a bit of a pain siphoning, well, using the syringe to squeeze it all back in. It took a while because it's got a little hose on the end of it. Took me ages to push it in, and then I have to keep taking the end off to fill it up because I couldn't suck it up out of the bottle. So, but I've got it all done. I'm just gonna have a look through this oil that was in there already. We'll put it into some containers to dispose of, and then yeah, go and take it out for a drive. But it's definitely a bit of a pain to do that. But like I say, if you were doing it all the time, you'd buy yourself a proper little pump so you could just pump it straight in. But for the occasional times that I'm going to be doing it, that's much easier than it would have been with the bottle, I'm sure. So yeah, I'm just finished tidying up, and then I can take it out for a drive and see how it is.